Did you know that early investors in companies like Flipkart made returns over 50,000%? While 90% of startups fail, the remaining 10% creates generational wealth. And what if I told you that a $25,000 investment in Uber's seed round would be worth over $25 million today? Or early investors in Airbnb saw returns over 100,000%. Hi everyone, I am Rajat and today we will decode the exact funding stages that separate billion-dollar companies from failures. Whether you are considering angel investing, evaluating startup opportunities, or simply want to understand where the next unicorn come from, this comprehensive guide will give you the insider knowledge that venture capitalists use to make million-dollar decisions. By the end of this video, you will understand not just what each funding stage means, but how to identify the red flags and green flags that determine the investment success. And in the end, we will discuss the strategic frameworks for investing in startups. So be with us till last. Let me start with stage 1 funding, that is pre-seed funding. Pre-seed funding is where legendary companies begin, often in garages and college dorms. At this stage, there's no product, no revenue, just a validated problem and a potential solution. Smart pre seed investors look for three things: a massive market opportunity, a founder with domain expertise, and early signs of product market fit validation. For example, before Zerodha became India's largest stockbroker, Nitin Kamath started with just Rs 5 lakh in 2010, focusing on building a simple, commission free trading platform. Early supporters who believed in disrupting traditional brokerage models saw astronomical returns. Here are some of the key metrics: success rate 10 to 15%, typical valuation Rs 5 lakh to Rs 50 lakh, timeline 6 to 18 months to next stage. Now comes the stage 2 of funding, which is seed funding. Well, the seed funding, which ranges from Rs 50 lakh to 5 crore, is where startups prove their concept work. At this point, your idea is an actual business with some customer traction. And the cost covered by seed funding includes product launch, product marketing, new employees, market research on product market fit. Seed investors are often angel investors, startup accelerators, or micro VCs. They are betting on the team's ability to execute and the potential market size. For example, Freshworks, now a publicly traded company worth billions, raised $1 million in seed funding in 2010. Founder Girish Mathribootham used this capital to build their first SaaS product and validate demand in the customer support software market. Early seed investors saw returns of over 1000x when the company went public. Here is an investment checklist overlay: clear value proposition, early customer traction, strong founding team, and large accessible market. Now the stage 3, which is Series A funding. Series A funding, ranging from Rs 5 crore to 50 crore, is where startups transition from proving concept to proving scalability. Companies must demonstrate their consistent revenue growth, product market fit, and a clear path to profitability. Guys, this is where institutional VCs enter. And cherry on the cake is that they are not just providing capital, they are providing expertise, networks, and credibility. Real example: Ola raised $5 million in Series A funding in 2014 from Matrix Parameters India. At this stage, they had proven demand in Bangalore and Mumbai but needed capital to expand nationwide and compete with international players. The funding helped them to scale to 100 plus cities and eventually achieve a multi billion-dollar valuation. Success metrics for Series A funding includes monthly recurring revenue of Rs 10 lakh plus, user growth of 20% more month over month, clear unit economics, and experienced management team. Now comes the stage 4, that is Series B funding. Series B funding, typically ranging from Rs 20 crore to 200 crores, focusing on scaling operations and expanding market reach. Companies at this stage have proven their business model works. They have dedicated user bases and steady stream of revenues. And now they need capital to dominate their market. Here is the key difference. Series B companies are expected to have sustainable revenue streams and clear paths to profitability within 2-3 years. Guys, let me explain to you by using example of Byju's. Byju's raised $30 million in Series B funding in 2016, which they used to expand beyond India and acquire competitors. This funding round valued the company over $500 million, setting the stage for them to become India's most valuable edtech startup, eventually reaching a peak valuation of $22 billion. Here are some of the Series B indicators: proven product market fit, strong revenue growth 3x year over year, market leadership potential, international expansion opportunities. Now in stage 5 comes Series C funding. The Series C funding, often rupees 100 to 1000 crores, is about global domination and market leadership. Companies use this capital for international expansion, strategic acquisitions, or developing a new product line. At this stage, investors include late stage VCs, private equity firms, and even strategic corporate investors. Let us take the example of Swiggy. Swiggy raised $210 million in Series C funding in 2017, which they used to expand to 100 plus cities, launch Swiggy stores, and compete aggressively with Zomato. This funding round positioned them as a clear market leader in food delivery, eventually leading to their IPO preparations. Series C characteristics: market leadership position, multiple revenue streams, strong unit economics, IPO or acquisition readiness. Now, the stage 6, which is Series D and growth funding. Series D and beyond, with funding amounts often exceeding rupees 500 crores, typically serve specific strategic purposes like preparing for IPO, major acquisitions, or entering entirely new market. These rounds often involve sovereign wealth funds, pension funds, and global investment firms. Here is a very good example of Paytm. Well, Paytm raised multiple late stage rounds totaling over $3 billion before going public. Their Series D and beyond funding helped them to expand from payments to banking, insurance, and wealth management, creating a comprehensive fintech ecosystem that justified their massive IPO valuation. Late stage investment considerations: IPO readiness within 2-3 years, strong financial controls, diversified revenue streams, experienced public company management. Now we are at stage 7, which is mezzanine financing and bridge rounds. Mezzanine financing combines debt and equity, typically used 6 to 18 months before an IPO. This rupees 100 to 2000 crores funding provide working capital while minimizing dilution for existing shareholders. Bridge rounds are temporary funding solutions that bridge companies to their next major milestone, whether that's profitability, acquisition, or IPO. Real life example for this funding is Nika. Nika used mezzanine financing before their successful IPO in 2021. This allowed them to strengthen their balance sheet, expand internationally, and prepare for public market scrutiny without giving up significant equity stakes to new investors. Mezzanine benefits: lower dilution than equity, flexible terms, preparation for public markets, slight higher cost of capital. Now at stage 8, initial public offering, IPO comes. Guys, do you know IPOs are considered as the pinnacle of startup success? Because the IPO represents the ultimate validation, transforming from private to public ownership. In India, successful IPO can raise up to rupees 1000 to 10,000 plus crores, providing massive liquidity to early investors and employees. However, keep in mind, going public means increased scrutiny, regulatory compliance, and quarterly performance pressure. We will try to understand it by using an example of Zomato. Well, Zomato's IPO in 2021 raised rupees 9,375 crores and created significant wealth for early investors and employees. InfoEdge, which invested rupees 4.5 crores in 2010, saw their stake becomes worth over rupees 13,000 crores at IPO, a return of nearly 3000x over 11 years of their initial capital. Guys, I repeat, 3000x in 11 years. People with this, we will look forward for an investment strategy for those who are looking to invest in startups. Here's your strategic framework. In early stage strategy, which is pre-seed to series A funding, invest rupees 5 to 50 lakh per startup across 10 to 20 companies. Expect 70 to 80% failures, but the 2-3 success can return 100 to 1000x your investment. And in growth stage strategy, which is Series B funding and above, invest rupees 50 lakhs to rupees 5 crores in 3-5 proven companies with clear paths to profitability. Lower risk but also lower potential returns of 10 to 50x. Guys, the previous two statements sound simple, but they are not that simple. Now, in the end, I would like to say understanding these funding stages is not just academic knowledge. It's your roadmap to identifying the next generation of wealth creating companies. Remember, the biggest returns come from the earlier stages, but they also carry the biggest risk. The key is portfolio diversification and thorough due diligence. In the startup ecosystem, knowledge is not just power, it's the profit. If this video helped clarifying startup funding for you, hit that like button and subscribe for more investment insights tailored for successful professionals like yourself. Goodbye everyone. We will meet in the next video very soon.